There it goes. Hi, welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Amanda, and I'm really glad that you're here. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. What we do here is EFT, which also stands for Emotional Freedom. Well, does stand for Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping. Tapping. If you've seen anybody doing that, that's what we're here to do today. I don't go into an explanation of what it is or how it works necessarily. I will answer questions, but the intention of this next hour that I'm going to be live is for you to experience the technique. It is simple in its presentation. There are a lot of nuances to being able to do it. So I'm really happy to be able to be here to lead you and guide you in it so that you can see some of the flexibility and the creativity that can happen within the bounds of clinical EFT. If you feel uncertain in your ability to do it, don't worry. You can just follow along with me and you'll have it down by the end of this session. Now, if you would like to interact, ask me questions, suggest something to tap on, you can put it into the chat. It is something that I check a couple of times as we go throughout our tapping session. If we don't choose a topic that is really specific to what it is that you would like to tap on today, don't worry. I will also show you how you can adjust what we are tapping on to make it more specific and pertinent to where you are. It's a beautiful community to be a part of, and I'm really grateful that you're here to do this with us today. Before I go any further, I have to remember to say, next week, I am going to be on an adventure with my family. I am going to still post a video. It will be pre recorded, but it will still be an hour long. It will still be me talking like this. So it will still seem live. It'll be like if you went back and watched one of the or one of the live events that's already happened, it'll be just like that. The only difference is I won't be able to communicate with you in real time. Having said that, if there's a topic that you know you would like for me to cover, please feel free to email me and I will use that in the recording. Otherwise, I'll just use some other ones of um, questions that people have recently asked, just inspired by what else has transpired in the community recently. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk more clearly when we start tapping. Um, so my email is in the top of the chat. If you want to shoot me an email on a topic for me to record for next week's session, please let me know. Okay, I'm going to say good morning or hello. Good night, wherever you are in the world. Hello, Richard. Hi, Anya. Hi, Violet Rose. Hi, beautiful Kylie. Oh, hello, Helen from Thailand. I love that you're here. I don't know what the time frame is. Like what time is it there right now? Whatever time it is for you. I'm glad that you're here today. Alrighty. I don't have any emails to bring up for us to all tap on together today. So, whatever is at the forefront of your mind, it could be something that you would like to receive that you don't currently have. It could be something that you currently have that you don't want anymore. Any place where you feel stuck or frustrated, any emotion that you would like to shift. It can be something really simple like, I have a pet peeve of my family just leaves their socks all over the house. For some reason, their socks, they're the only thing that doesn't make it to their room and it just drives me crazy. And I want to let that go. Great. Let's tap on that. So it doesn't have to be something big that you have to describe a lot. Feel free to just post whatever it is and we'll work it into what we do today. Oh, it's 4 a.m. Oh my goodness. Helen. Well, if that's the early morning that you have, then I'm glad you're spending it with us. But if you're able to go back to sleep, I hope that maybe this could relax you to that point. But wow. Okay, Violet says, would love to tap on feeling good enough. Okay, still struggling a bit in mentoring one with those feelings. Perfect. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Let's go ahead and get grounded. Let's get in the moment because I don't feel scattered, but I feel energetic, but maybe a little bit like chaotic energetic. So let's center that a little bit. If you haven't done this with me before, I'll just describe real fast. It's a very gentle way of grounding. I'm going to have you focus on different body parts, and you don't need to check for whatever it is that I say. Just focus your attention there. And it's just bringing you back to your body, back to this present moment in a really safe, kind way. Okay. So go ahead and take a breath, whatever feels comfortable to you to bring in, and let that out. And as you let it out, just let your body slump forward. We're not looking for good posture yet. We're going to let our bodies just relax. We really want to send the signal of it's okay to just chill out right now. And let's go ahead and do another breath. Now, as we're sitting here, I want you to draw your focus to the backs of your ears. Where are the backs of your ears right now? Your left ear and your right ear, that whole back section of your ears. Where is that? And remember to breathe. And how about your front teeth? Where are your front teeth right now? Can you feel with your energy where your front teeth are? And how about your collarbones? Where are those collarbones right now? That bone that's at the front of your shoulders that goes from that empty notch in your throat out to the edges of your shoulders. Where are those collarbones right now? And remember to breathe. And how about the inside of your wrists? Your left wrist and your right wrist. Where are they right now? What direction are they facing? Are they facing each other? Are they facing up? Are they facing down? Where are the insides of your wrists? And remember to breathe. How about your belly button? Where is your belly button right now? And is it underneath clothing? How many layers of clothing? Is it being squished? Or does it feel pretty relaxed? Focus on where your belly button is and feel it with your energy. And how about your knees? Your left knee and your right knee, that whole joint, the front of it where your kneecap sits, to around the back of it where you have those two tendons on either side. Where are your knees? And are they bent? Are they straight? Remember to breathe. How about your inside ankle bones? Where are those bones that are the inside of your ankle? On your left side and on your right side. Really feel your energy into those bones. And finally, where are the spaces in between your toes? So that space in between your toes, that little that little dip space, sometimes you wiggle fingers into. That space that tends to collect dust if you're wearing sandals outside. Where are all of those little divots in between your toes? Feel with your energy those spaces, the spaces in between your toes, your left foot and your right foot. We've never done this one before. Can you feel those spaces? And let's take another breath. Okay, and go ahead and stack your body where you've got support on your spine, where you've got your shoulders over your hips. Support your back if you need to by leaning against something or sticking a pillow back behind you. And go ahead and open your eyes if you had your eyes shut during that exercise. I'm going to set a quick intention for us together, and then I will check the chat again. It is my intention that as we tap together today, that even though we are all over the world and we're having very different experiences of life and are concerned about different things, that as we come together right now, we do form a community and we come together in solidarity with a common purpose. And it's okay however we show up for this purpose. If we show up out of sorts or feeling uncertain, whatever space that we're in, the fact that you're here matters and that you add value to the community by being here. It's my intention that as we engage in tapping together, that you will feel relief, that you will receive empowerment and insight and know that there's appreciation and gratitude for you being here. Let's take one more breath. Okay, let me check in. My tenant is buying our home, but it's delaying and causing some stress. Okay. I hear you, Helen. Thank you for that. Karen, support in making productive moves towards life and death health decisions. Okay. Oh, thank you for always making me smile. You're so welcome, Karen. Hi, E. Oh, thank you for calling me a beautiful angel. All righty. So, some big things, some big life shifting things on here. Maybe with slightly unknowns attached to it. Definitely a mixture of emotions. Absolutely. Hi, Dr. Scott. Glad you're here. Let's start with Violet's suggestion. I feel that tapping on feeling good enough and just other things that kind of surround that we can do will uh, give us some support and scaffolding for the other things that have been mentioned otherwise in the chat. So we can go ahead and start tapping on the side of the hand. Now, as we tap, I tend to not move through the spots very often. I do that intentionally because I don't want you trying to focus on, oh no, did I miss a spot? Do I need to move? Did I do that wrong? Did I screw something up? As long as you're tapping on one of the acupoints that we use in EFT, you're good. And I would rather have your focus be on where you are emotionally, what's coming up for you in your mind, than worrying about, oh no, what spot is she on? Okay. But if you feel like you want to move to a different spot, please give yourself permission to do so. I want you to follow what you feel is best for you. Okay. So tapping on feeling good enough. If good enough doesn't speak to you as strongly as something else might, go ahead and replace that. It could be I want to feel smart enough. I want to feel capable enough. I want to feel wise enough. I want to feel safe enough, strong enough. There's a plethora of words that you could put in there that will work for this as well. I'm going to stick with the wording of good enough for now, but we'll definitely branch out into other sayings. As I begin to tap to address these emotions of feeling not good enough, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though right now I don't feel good enough, or I'm not sure if I feel good enough or not, or if I want to put conditions on what I agree I feel good enough for, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now it's unclear to me why I don't feel good enough, I hold space to check it out. I hold space to be curious and to think through some things right now. And maybe I'll find something. Maybe I won't. But whatever ends up happening, I'm in a safe place to explore this. Not good enough. I'm not good enough. Feeling not good enough. Being not good enough. Doing not good enough. Just not good enough. Nope, not good enough. I wonder, what's so scary about being not good enough? What makes it so terrifying to not be good enough? What is it that I believe is the consequence that I have to face if I'm not good enough? Do I believe I'll be ridiculed? Do I believe I'll be left, abandoned? Whatever it is, it must be something pretty painful. Even though I have these really big feelings attached to the outcome of not being good enough, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. This concern, this consequence, well, of course, I have this fear. I mean, everybody knows all of the dire circumstances that happen when you're not good enough. I mean, it's whew. And it happens to everybody, right? I mean, there's nobody in this world that's ever been okay and been not good enough. Everybody who's ever been accepted or loved or successful or stable or safe or productive, it's always been because they've been good enough. But what does that even mean? And when I put it that way, do I still really believe it? Or is this something that I'm telling myself? A standard that's for me and just for me. Well, if it's a standard that's just for me, why would I have it? Why would I keep this? Especially one that's so stressful, one that feels so heavy. What benefit do I receive by telling myself I'm not good enough yet? How dare you? I would never do that. That would be a horrible thing to do to myself. Of course, it's just a fact. There's nothing else behind it. And it's insulting to consider this right now. Even if there's a part of me that might be saying these things, I give it permission to go away for now and to continue to be curious. It's okay for me to have feelings about all of these questions that I'm asking, but I don't need to get distracted by them. I choose to continue to be open to this curiosity. So, what would being not good enough do for me? What if it allowed me to feel safe? What? How is that safe? No, being not good enough is unsafe. But what if being good enough is also unsafe? What if being my biggest, brightest, most incredible self that I know I'm capable of is more unsafe? What if this is about choosing the best of not great options? Okay. Well, if that is true, which it could be, where would I have gotten that belief? Where would I have decided that it was so unsafe for me to be my biggest, most fabulous self to the point of never making it, never being good enough, where it feels more safe for me to be constantly outrunning failure? Maybe it's because someone compared themselves to me at one point and I felt bad. I don't want anyone feeling bad because of something I'm good at. Maybe it's because someone else compared me to another person and I didn't like how that felt. Maybe someone saw me being my biggest, most fabulous self and they weren't nice to me about it. Maybe they misunderstood me and said I was things that I'm not. Whatever the situation, I didn't feel safe. It didn't feel safe to be me. Not safe to be me. Not safe to shine. Not safe to succeed. Too dangerous. Too scary. So sad. So much grief. Well, I feel the grief now. But when I first made this decision, I wonder, it probably felt relieving. It probably felt good. And maybe at the time, it was the best option I had. Even though not allowing myself to be good enough used to be my best option, maybe that can change now. Maybe it wasn't safe, but maybe I succeeded and I've provided a safe enough place now. Maybe now I can be bigger. I can be louder. I can be comfortable with what's true for me in my success, even if it means I succeed in ways no one's ever seen before. Maybe I am the most successiest success person that's ever to be. And maybe that's okay now because I have found a place where that support is possible. And I give myself permission to test out this theory. It's okay if I don't just jump right into it. Maybe I will. But it's also okay for me to take time in this transition. Maybe it's okay to be good enough. Good enough. Great. Stunning. Spectacular. Creative. Successful. Incredible. Consistently amazing. Well, that sounds good. But I wonder, this would feel good to me, but what about everybody around me? What would it do if I allowed myself to fully expand? Maybe I could make it comfortable for others to do the same. Maybe I could bring more joy, more comfort, more understanding. Maybe this would be a positive thing for everyone around me, as well as for myself. So maybe it's even important that I allow myself to feel safe in being good enough. Maybe it'll be life-changing for other people and not just me. Good enough. Good enough for myself and good enough for all of those around me who I really care about. And as I lean into this and test this theory, I give myself permission to do it at a pace that feels good. And I might be really great at it at the beginning, and it might feel really natural. Maybe I've been waiting for this moment, or it might be a little difficult at first, and I may not really know how to do it. It's okay if it takes me a little bit of time to figure out how to fully be me. But as I take the time to do this, I trust that I will get there and that all along the way, any progress is really great news. And I deeply and completely accept myself. And take a breath. Okay. I saw some messages come in, so we'll take just a pause and then we'll switch because what we're going to go into next is going to be a little bit heavy. So just know that. Hi, Valeria. Keep it. Permission for others. Yay! I'm so glad that helped Violet. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. So moving into big things. Let's see, how do I want to phrase this? I'm going to phrase it from a stance of everything that I'm feeling. Because while we've got some big things that are happening with people in the chat, sometimes it can be something that what we're identifying everything connected to maybe isn't feeling so big, but it's creating a big response, right? So let's go with that. You could picture a situation. It could be with a person. It could be something that you haven't yet engaged, but when you think about it, you start to get really big feelings about it. So go ahead and pick one thing that when you focus in on it, just kind of goes for you. As I consider these big feelings that right now are really being felt in my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I focus in on all of the aspects that are involved with these really big emotions, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm not quite sure maybe how tapping is going to help with this right now, I'm open to being surprised. And I invite answers to come to me, regardless of whatever level of belief or understanding I currently feel about it. These big emotions, these really, really big emotions, this big event, this intensity that's in front of me right now. This intensity that I feel inside of me right now. Big emotions, big thoughts, so overwhelming. Overwhelming in my mind, overwhelming in my body. As I allow myself to explore all the ways that I am currently being affected by this, I so deeply and completely accept myself. I choose to send myself so much love and so much compassion. It really does matter for me to recognize this in myself. This is hard. This is big. And whether or not there's good news or bad news or just news, it's a lot. And it's okay for me to recognize and feel through what I'm feeling because this is so big. I give myself permission to express this in whatever way feels appropriate for me. If I need to cry, if I need to laugh, if I need to scream, if I need to throw something, if I just want to sit in the quiet, I give myself permission to listen to my intuition and take action on the things that will give me support right now. And it's okay if it's not my usual way of support or a long-term way of support. I don't need to judge it as, well, is this a healthy choice right now? Of course, I want to honor boundaries of any concerns of addictions or, things that are going to be more harmful than helpful. Of course, it's okay for me to hold that boundary. But if it's going to make me feel better right now to eat pumpkin pie for breakfast all this week, then darn it, I'm eating pumpkin pie for breakfast. And that's okay. It's okay for me to meet myself where I currently am. Even if it's a space that I won't choose to stay in always. This is a temporary space, and it's an overwhelming one. It is okay for me to give myself the support that I need for this moment, and I can adjust as my moment adjusts. Support for me. Support for me in this moment. Support to release what can be released. Support to receive what can be received. support to rationalize any irrationality that I need. Maybe I need to just feel happy for a minute, to just be ridiculously silly. I give myself permission, even if I don't have a reason, even if other people would think I was being weird or some other judgment. If it's what I need, it's okay. And if what I need is anything else that I feel inside of my body that doesn't make sense to another person, I give myself permission to prioritize what I'm feeling. It's okay for me to take care of my needs over the concerns and judgments of others. If I want to worry about that, I can worry about that later. Right now, I give myself permission to prioritize myself. But I wonder, what could that possibly look like right now? What could I possibly truly release? And what could I possibly receive that would be helpful? I'm open to this, but maybe I just feel a little clueless about how to actually make it happen. Maybe it's about asking myself the right questions. So I wonder, what are the right questions? What questions do I ask to find out what support I need? Maybe I could ask my body and say, Body, what is it that you're feeling right now? And if I'm feeling hungry or sleepy or like I need to move, if I need to go to the bathroom, I give myself permission to become aware of that and to give that to myself. Maybe I give myself a different boundary. Instead of my body or my mind, I ask myself, what can I do in the next 10 minutes? In this next stretch of time, what could I give myself that would feel really good? And I go do it. Or I don't do it. Whatever. What if there's something I don't want to do? I give myself permission to quit. I give myself permission to have a bad attitude. I give myself permission. Um, I just give myself permission. Even if it's an irrational request and it's something I know I'll have to change back after my 10 minutes. If that's what I need right then, I commit to doing it. This space, this big space full of big feelings. Maybe I don't have to hold them all at the same time. Maybe I can pick and choose. Maybe I can create some other big feelings, ones that I want to have. And they can kind of smooth each other out. Maybe I choose to transport myself to some other reality. And I allow myself to bring back the peace that I felt in that other space. support, support right now for me, support in this space to feel better. And as I experiment, try out all of the ideas that I have, I hold space to be surprised about what might actually work. And I allow myself to feel humored, curious, interested in the results that I receive. It doesn't have to be a pass fail experience. It's okay for me to find my support on a journey. And maybe it's even okay to enjoy it. And as I allow myself this journey, I deeply and completely accept myself. And take a breath. Okay, I hope that was helpful. We may need to do kind of another angle. Let me know, um, Karen, how that felt for you. Um, because if you need a little bit more, I am here for you right now. So let's figure it out. Okay. Hi, Braca from Tanz Tanzan. Why can I not say that right now? My brain will not say your country, and I know it. I have Tanzanite, so I know I can say the crystal, but I can't. Okay, welcome. Cedric, hi. I'm glad that you're back. Happy to have you. Okay, well, since I'm not seeing other requests, I just have a feeling there's something else there that on our last tap that didn't quite get reached. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into that. Um, Let me see if I can verbalize the angle. When we're going through something that's big and overwhelming and it's gone on for a long time and it feels really taxing, um, sometimes it's hard to care. It gets taxing. It becomes overwhelming to even be in that space, right? Numbing out starts to feel like a better option. And there's a shade of empowerment that kind of starts to feel flimsy, because of a loss of control of environment, right? When it's something that's so big, and I think that's the place where I want to go, not having control. So let's tap on that. Um, okay, hi Katrina. All right, so as we're tapping on this, I'm going to take it from like I don't have control of this big situation, but if there's something else, that in that phraseology that works better for you, please feel free to change it. But it's more of a focus on, um, this is out of my control. Okay. As I consider this aspect of my life and I acknowledge how it's really out of my control, and I deeply feel that right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I really don't feel like I have much control in this at all, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I feel pretty certain that it's just fact. I just really don't have control over what's happening. I'm open to finding ways to feel better about that. Out of my control. This situation, out of my control. These aspects, no control. This outcome, no control. Even if it is absolutely true that I have zero control over any of this, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. It's okay for me to acknowledge I don't have control over everything. And even if that's uncomfortable and I don't like it, and I wish I could change things, but I don't even know what maybe I would exactly change. Maybe I do know exactly what I would change. I still choose to give myself permission to feel. And just because it's out of my control doesn't mean that the only acceptable emotion is acceptance. I mean, sure, I can accept that it's happening. There are things happening and I don't have control in that. But my goodness, I can feel however I want about that. Maybe I'm furious about it. Maybe I'm grieving. Maybe it really hurts. Maybe I'm full of doubt. Maybe I'm scared. And whatever the outcome is, maybe it is inevitable. But it's okay for me to feel however I feel about it. Yeah, but it's irrational. Yeah, but it's extra stress. Yeah, but. Whatever it is, that might be coming up for me after the but that is invalidating how I'm feeling right now. I choose to let that go. I refuse to invalidate myself in this. It is hard when something's out of your control. It's hard when this is out of my control. I don't like it. I'm allowed to have feelings. And maybe it will affect the outcome. Maybe it won't at all. But maybe that's not the line I have to look at it from. Maybe it's not about the outcome, but maybe it's about having compassion and space and love for myself so that as this outcome happens, I am as supported as I can be. That I have given myself what I need to feel as much at peace as I can be, as strong as I can be, as complete as I can be. That's okay to do. That's okay for me to give myself. It's what I would encourage for anyone else that I care for. I would want them to feel as much at peace as possible. I would want them to feel as good as possible, even if they didn't have any control of the outcome. So maybe I can do that for myself too. Okay. All right. I'll consider that. But I wonder, how do I do that? How do I offer myself these things outside of the consideration that it's out of my control? How do I find pieces that have the ability to shift when the overall outcome isn't in my hands? It isn't in my control. These pieces, these pieces of influence. Well, I wonder, what would I want to influence? Would it be a better quality of time that's happening right now? Something where I influence the energy in the room? Would it be that I influence conversation? Would it be that I influence boundaries for myself, for others? Would it be that I give myself permission to stop trying to be everything and to let myself know that it's okay for me to feel at peace with this outcome that I can't control, even if I'm not quite able to do everything? My influence, my give, my give for myself, my give for anyone else involved. And while it may be true, I can't change the outcome, and there may be things that are just out of my control, I hold space to see the things that I do have influence over for myself and for others. And I give myself permission to choose what feels good and to allow that to be enough. My influence, enough. And as I hold space for these realizations, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a breath. Okay, now that feels complete. I just felt like that was necessary. Okay, Tanzania. Thank you, Richard. I don't, geez, brain sometimes, right? Okay, I know that we have like 10 seconds left, but I feel like we reached some deeper, bigger stuff. So if you have to leave, that's fine. I'm going to stay for just a minute or two and just tap kind of a closing, happier, lighter space to end in. Okay. So if you can hang out, hang out. Okay. as this tapping session comes to a close, I allow myself to be filled with gratitude for the things that have shifted for me today, for the things that have shifted in my community, for my community members who received what they were looking for, that I got to be a part of, to feel grateful for the insights and knowledge of things that I'm not alone in, of different ways of looking at things or approaching things than maybe I have thought about before. And even though we went really deep and pretty big and broad, I allow myself to now draw my energy back in to be in a smaller space. I call my energy back to me to be within the same room, to be within these walls, to allow myself to be fully present within this space. And then any time that I need to shift that again, I can. But right now, I allow myself to feel collected and whole in this present space. And I can keep myself connected through my heart or through my energy to my community as needed. I give myself permission to really feel present in my own body and in my own space, and to feel complete and full of good right now. And I allow this energy to be grounded in a good space, whether that's this literal space where I am or in a good thought, whatever feels best for me. Grounding my body, grounding my mind, grounding my thoughts, grounding my emotions. Being present. This space, my space, my body. And as I go throughout this day, this week, I choose to hold on to what feels good and empowering. And I choose to continue to release whatever doesn't. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a breath. Okay, hopefully you feel a little bit more whole in your space again. If you need a little bit more grounding, something that I learned from a Tai Chi instructor is, and this is totally not EFT at all, just so you're aware, this is just Amanda tips. Taking the palms of your hands and slapping the bottoms of your feet. It may feel weird, but it works. It's kind of an energy hack. And slapping gently, kind of like just slightly stronger than a pat on the bottom of your feet. One foot with both hands and then the other foot with both hands. Okay. All right. Thank you for being here with me this week. For those of you who didn't hear at the beginning, next week will be pre-recorded because I'm going to be off on an adventure with my family. But there will be a full session recorded. If you have something you would like for me to tap on in that, please email it to me as soon as possible and I will get it in there. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I love you. I'll be thinking about you. I've got you in my heart. And I will see you pre-recorded next week and live the week after that. Mwah. Take care.